What are some ways people really mess it up when they're doing social media and they're trying to make money with it? If they want to have an influencer startup, we're going to talk today about 3 major pitfalls, major disasters that can come out of this type.
We're in a trust economy. Like that's exactly what social media is it's all about, can I trust the information that you're giving me? And if I can't trust you, why would I ever buy from you? Why would I ever follow your advice or anything like that? That has to be number one. They have to focus on solving problems, not selling products.
And with me today, I'm really excited to have Brian Griffith from Think Media, one of the leading coaching and training and development platforms and organizations for particularly YouTube. Brian, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, appreciate it a ton.
So Brian, let's talk influencer startups tonight. And I look at your organization has so much experience at not just saying like, let's create a following, subscribers, let's get people watching our content, get attention, but turn it into business. So, I've certainly seen a lot of people do this very badly or really run into trouble with it. When you think about this and your experience, what are some things that really go wrong?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because there's this thing is like you need to create an income if you're creating a business. But the problem is there's a lot of people who end up starting and the only thing that they're thinking about is the income. And the problem with that is on social media, YouTube and all of that is it's people, and people can smell when they're being influenced. That's the problem with influencing is people can smell it, they can feel it, they can taste it, and they know that, oh, this is not really genuine. And so one of the things I do find and do see, whether it's like Instagram, you see it all the time, or YouTube, or really anywhere, it's like, man, people focus so much on trying to get the sale that it's just, it feels off, and it kind of feels like, yeah, I'm not too sure. And especially if it's like, I'm really trying to make the sale and I'm pushing really hard on it, but like, I don't have a big influence. It kind of also feels a little bit off because it's like, okay, this is clearly, there's one reason why you're doing this, and I'm not sure if I can trust that. And so I think that's like one major one is that people try to do it so early, and not that you can't make an income early, you totally can, but they try so hard, and it's fishy, it's harsh, and you can smell it.
Yeah, and I've seen that so many times where it almost seems like it's like they're not really trying to create content, they're just trying to like pitch what they have and it's almost like a sales pitch from the beginning, not like, hey, here's valuable content for you to check out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I think the other part about it is they don't focus on trust. Like we're in a trust economy. Like that's exactly what social media is it's all about, can I trust the information that you're giving me? And if I can't trust you, why would I ever buy from you? Why would I ever follow your advice or anything like that? And so I think that's the other, I guess, big mistake people make is that they don't lead with trying to build trust. Like they are, I guess it's a second part of it is they're being selfish. Like they're just being so focused on themselves versus trying to be helpful and help people find answers to what they're doing. Like they're focused on themselves versus the other person.
Yeah, well, and I think that's like almost, you see a lot, authenticity becoming more important than even production value or any of those kinds of things. It's people want to be able to have that trust and follow someone that they're like, oh, this is someone I would want to get to know in person if they were accessible to me. And what's the real deal in terms of like what the kind of information. Can you think of an example of like where someone's done this really well?
Yeah. So the times that you see it really well is when it's just kind of like splattered in there a little bit. It's not like it's the focus of the video or it's like the focus of the content, but instead it's like, okay, if I'm going to help you solve a problem, or if I'm going to help you find like the next right product, I think that's what is super helpful is when people really think about the viewer's intent. I'm going to stick with YouTube on this. That's what I know best, is that when somebody is making a search on YouTube, they're searching for something specific. That's actually a huge part of why YouTube is so successful, is that you can find answers to your questions, right? Whether it's a video game, or you're trying to, fix a wall, or you're trying to start a garden, or, you're trying to fix a car or anything like that, you're really searching and trying to solve your problem. And so if you can, and this is where I see it the most and the most helpful, is when somebody helps you solve their problem and they say, hey, by the way, this is my favorite tool for actually fixing the car. Perfect. Like that's the exact thing that I'm looking for. And how I can actually help that creator earn an income is by like clicking on their link and whatnot too. And so those are the times I see it really well for those who are just getting started, is when they're focused on solving other people's problems versus trying to sell a product. Like that has to be number one. They have to focus on solving problems, not selling products.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, I can think of an example just to plug your channel and your organization a bit. Was watching recently one of Sean Cannell's videos where he was talking about, yeah, how do you balance, if you're a YouTuber, how do you balance life and YouTube? Whether it's like family, it's school, it's job, that kind of thing. And towards the end, it wasn't a super long video, 12, 13 minutes. Towards the end, he starts talking about, hey, if you're wanting to do YouTube, if you want to really to improve this or be able to do more of this, I have this masterclass. And here's some of the things I share with that. If it would be useful for you, there's a link down below. It was, it's just almost felt like part of the conversation. It wasn't like a big sales plug. He'd already spent, 11 out of 13 minutes building trust. And it was almost like it was just an extension of that. Like, here's another way that you can do better in this category.
Yeah, no, that's exactly like the route that we try to go, is we try to get value in there. Like the whole video is hopefully solving somebody's problem, answering their question, finding the right product for them. We do a lot of even like reviewing products and stuff like that too. And the end goal is totally like, well, one, how do we help them? But then also making sure that we have those splattered in there, whether it's the masterclass. And what's cool about it is even the masterclass is a free thing too. It's like, okay, we talked about this and how you can save time at home and you got a busy life and all of that. And then we go into the masterclass, which is another hour to an hour and a half of just teaching on, how do you do YouTube well and how can you make a living with it? And like, what can you do to create, views before we even make a sale or try to sell a product? So it's a huge part of the process for us. We say influence comes first, income comes second. And so we do that by building trust, building value, and all of the above.
That's great. So we said, pitfall number one, just like trying too hard, too fast. Pitfall number two, being self-serving, kind of failing to build trust. What would be a third thing?
I think a third thing, and this is going to be kind of funny because it's kind of the opposite of those two, is not actually selling. And so it's kind of funny because there's so many people who will get on one-on-one calls and we'll get on coaching calls, and they're like, man, I have been trying to sell these planners and it's just crazy because they're like, I'm not selling as much as I used to. Like last year, I was selling a lot more and now I'm not selling as many. So we'll do some digging, do some research, and we're like, when's the last time you actually talked about it? And she's like, it's been a while. And so then we started looking a little bit further, and there's some little strategies that you can do by making sure you have the right pinned comments and the right, description and the right links in the description and the right call to actions throughout videos. And it was crazy. We had that meeting, and then 2 weeks later, she messaged us back and was like, hey, by the way, I did what you guys said, and planners are up 20%, and just by changing links and making sure the call to actions were right and all of the above. So it's funny that it's totally opposite of the other two, is like not actually selling is a huge mistake, but important to do if you want to actually create an income.
Yeah, it's like you're not going to get the sale if you don't ask for it, or you miss 100% of the shots you're not going to take. Yeah, so when I look at Think Media, what I've observed is you have that blend of really, really great content. It's useful. It answers specific questions. It's relevant. It connects to what's going on. But then there's also this money model that is, it's like almost the Alex Ramosi thing. It's like there's this box full of stuff and there's so much great stuff in it and it's so little cost. It's like people feel dumb saying no. And, so that's some of the things I just have observed. What do you think is, just give us a little plug for Think Media. Like, what are some of the things that make Think Media unique and distinct in the environment of influence, in particular, like an influencer startup?
Man, appreciate it. I think media, we have this mission, and the mission is to help 1 million purpose-driven people go full-time doing what they love through the power of YouTube. And it runs through the company. I mean, we've got about 25 to 30 full-time employees that are working on the business, in the business, everything from like creators and editors, but also the whole service and coaching side as well. That like the whole goal is how do we help people find wins for their channel, and how do we help them take their channels to the next level. And it's kind of wild. Like we're a learning community in the back end. Like we're reading these books like Never Lose a Customer Again, and thinking through how do we, help make sure that, customers are taken care of, and how do we make sure that they're feeling seen, that they're actually reaching their goals and they're having wins. I don't know too many others who have an entire board where they're like obsessed with their student success. Like we have a board of, I think it's 5,000 or 6,000 channels that we're tracking that have all been in a part of our program in the past couple of years. And we're like, how are they doing? Like, where are they at? And what kind of views have they gotten? Where are their subscribers at? And all of that too. So we take it serious, and we just want to see people win, and make sure that they do that.
Yeah, it's like that kind of 1% better all the time, instead of just like putting back on, hey, we've got all these followers and all these revenue streams. I love it. Well, Brian, this was awesome. Thanks so much for just sharing some of these insights. Before we go, I have a question I always love to ask. What is your favorite founder film?
Okay, so I guess I don't watch too many because none came to mind right away. I mean, there's some that I like. Like, is this even a founder film? Like Moneyball? Is that a founder? I don't know if it is.
I actually, one of my favorites, because it's actually what I would call intrapreneurship.
Yeah. Yep.
It's dealing within an organization that's kind of got fixed parameters. So yeah, absolutely. Great example.
Yeah. So like Moneyball, I love that. Intrapreneur, that's me for sure. I'm more of an intrapreneur than entrepreneur, I would say that. And then not a founder film, but a podcast that I used to listen to a lot was called Founders, and it's really good. That he like goes through different books about founders, and like gives not just review, but goes through their life. And it's so good. It's a really, really great one. I'd recommend.
That's awesome. So Brian, if someone's watching this and think like they're thinking, I want to learn more about Think Media, what's the best way to kind of get involved? What kinds of content, how would they connect and engage?
Yeah, I would go straight to YouTube. We got 2 channels. We have Think Media, and that's all of the tips and tools for creating a YouTube channel, whether it's, the right camera, lighting, microphone, editing software, tips for YouTube, even as granular as uploading a video. And then we have Think Media Podcast, where we kind of go more mindset, but then also some deep lessons on YouTube, and just helping people grow on YouTube channels. So I would go either one of those, and you'll get hopefully some good stuff there.
Awesome. Brian, thanks so much for being here. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much too. Appreciate it.
Awesome. And if you're interested in more content like this, and you'd like to hear secrets about how to create an influencer startup, be sure to check out more videos on my channel. You can check out the playlist called The Influencer Startup. Thanks for being here, and keep going. All right.
Sweet.
Yeah.